Coming in hot, coming in hot.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is the Sports Drink Club. I'm one half member. My name is Patrick Melton. I got my co-host with me, Keenan Duke, and we are coming in hot today on this rainy night in California.
Yeah.
What's so funny? What's so funny over there, man?
We were just jabbing a little bit before we started this, so still laughing from that.
Yeah, we got some great things to discuss tonight. We'll be talking about Colin Kaepernick and how he has settled with the NFL over the collusion case. We've got news on AB. We'll definitely be giving our hot take about that. Manny Machado, the new $300 million man for the San Diego Padres. NBA All-Star Weekend. We'll touch on that a little bit. And also, according to Josh Allen, he is not trash. Okay, as he addressed Jalen Ramsey this week on Twitter. But first thing is first, I want to dive into the Colin Kaepernick thing. He did settle with the NFL this past week. Over the collusion case, him and Eric Reid for an undisclosed amount. I believe that it was at least $20 million. The fact that he dropped the case, he's not allowed to talk about it anymore. Anything, going on with collusion or blackballing him out of the league. I'm kind of glad that he has kind of ended all of this with them, because it just kind of sheds light on the true situation that really is at hand, that there is something going on with the NFL, because they paid him and Eric Reid to just basically go away and never talk about it again. Smart on the NFL's part, smart on Colin Kaepernick's part. But how does this affect Colin Kaepernick and how others perceive him as a spokesperson for what he was kneeling about in the first place?
I think people are kind of split on it, because it seems like there are some out there that feel that he kind of sold out, and especially with the details of the settlement not being disclosed. So I feel like some people are frustrated at that, because they're like, what exactly are the terms that he agreed to? Like, if he comes back to the NFL, like, did they say that he has to stand? Like, like what are just what are the terms that they really came to for this agreement and the settlement? So I think people are kind of split on it, because people backed him for so long, and then for this to kind of seemingly come out of nowhere and catch people by surprise.
Right.
And then so it's like all these people who have been backing him and having his back, and then all of a sudden for it to be like gone and he can't even talk about it anymore. It's like, okay, so where do we go?
Right. And I know that there's a lot of people who wanted to see him go up against the NFL to expose, the whole collusion deal. But
like, where was it going to go? Like,
exactly. I don't know.
Like, for
exactly
how much longer?
Yeah, exactly. That's where I'm thinking, is like, for how much longer can you push and push and push to try to find out information that you probably will never find out in the first place? But it's pretty plain to see that, there was something that was going on, but you would be nuts not to settle for over $20 million.
I mean,
you're not going to settle for $20 million because you want to continue to try to push like your message. Like,
it's like to
hell out about it.
Yeah, no, it's like, where is it going? How much longer is it? Because to me, the message seems to kind of reach a stalemate. Like, the message wasn't really being pushed any further. It was just kind of like that constant message that it was kind of like an incident that people were able to fall back on. Like,
Right.
Oh, there's Colin Kaepernick still fighting this stuff, still being, screwed over by the NFL. Like,
Right.
He's still sitting in limbo, doesn't have a team, he's not getting paid, blah, blah, blah. Like, so it seems like it was like a fallback situation for people, the social justice warriors out there, to be able to like go back to, whereas like now that's kind of gone, because it's been taken care of, it's been resolved. And then on top of that, it's like like the NFL is clearly not letting him in anymore.
Right.
Like he's not going to be able to play football in the NFL anymore.
No.
So that road has like come to a dead end. It's been too long since he's been in. They're not budging on it. So that's not like a plausible outcome for him. The only plausible outcome for him is to be, compensated for his losses, which maybe he could have made more than 20 million. Who
Right.
knows? But at the same time, 20 million is better than nothing.
Exactly.
And
where
on
I'm
top of that,
looking
he
at
still has his
exactly.
sponsorship deals with Nike. So it's like, he's got to, he's still got to do something. And at the same time, like you can say, like, oh, like he did it for the money. It's like, well, they're all playing. Who does anything like as an adult for free? Like we all do our job. We might love our job, like, but we still want to be paid for it. You
Exactly.
don't like you can't just say, oh, it's for the love of the game. He's not. Yeah, no, he loves to play football. He wanted to play football, but they shut that door on him early, and so it's like you can't bring up that argument and say like, oh, he took the money, therefore that's what it was all about all along. Like, no, it wasn't. You
No,
know,
clearly it wasn't. But at the same time, I think that he still believes in what he believes in. And, with the ongoing case that was going on, there must have been something on Colin Kaepernick's side to where that the NFL and his lawyers on his side agreed to something. There must have been something that they knew or that they found out to where, hey, let's just settle on this before all of this stuff gets out. Or it could have been a situation where we just want to nip this in the bud altogether. This whole Colin Kaepernick thing, the whole kneeling thing, the whole social injustice thing. Let's just wipe that clean before we go ahead and get into the next season, which
yeah, no, I mean it makes
personally,
sense.
I believe that's really where it was at for the NFL. They already had the situation with New Orleans and the bad call. They already had some other things going on before that with the whole kneeling and social injustice thing. And with this ongoing case, this kind of just, puts the kibosh on everything so the NFL can move on with their life and go into next season with a clean slate.
I mean, I think that might have played a part of it. I wouldn't be surprised if that obviously played a hand in what the decision that they made. Who knows? There might have been something that, the other side, Colin Kaepernick side and Ed Reed side, or not Ed Reed, yeah, Eric Reed, were like, maybe they had some information that was like, we'll release this, which is really going to make you look terrible unless you come to a settlement. Maybe something like that was on the table. Who knows? I mean,
Exactly.
at the same time, like I wouldn't even be surprised if because this situation transcended football to the degree that it did,
Mhm.
it became such a social construct and a political one at that too. I wouldn't even be surprised if politics, not to, don't really want to bring up politics and, for this podcast, because it's not really what we're really all about. But, for this topic, I think it's kind of, I'd be remiss not to at least touch on it, where it's like,
Absolutely. Go ahead.
it's like we're entering election year.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like we're entering where candidates are starting to, become known, and we're about to enter, this time frame where there's going to be a lot of tension, a lot of things for people to like pick on. And because this was such a political thing, I don't think maybe the powers that be, whoever, however deep that stuff runs, like not to be a conspiracy theorist or anything like that, but
Right.
like maybe this was something where it was like, listen, this is something that we need to go away because we
Right.
don't want we don't want these social justice warriors like coming down and using this as an example as to what's leading, you know, to the problems that, be in America right now. Like, let's nip this in the butt now.
Yep.
Let's kill this story so it can be gone. That way we can enter this election year and people have been forgot about it because people's uh, uh, attention spans now is about and if it lasts past a week, it's a miracle.
Exactly. And we're so social media driven that, any sort of thing that said could be multiplied by the thousands, by the hundreds of thousands, by the millions in one click of a button. And in this case with Colin Kaepernick, of course, all of the Black Lives Matter people came out, all of the social injustice leaders and people who are advocates,
all the Hollywood people,
all the Hollywood people came out, how, you know, you sold out, yada, yada. At the end of the day, we're talking about $20 million, man. I don't think that, you know, I don't think that there's just a lot of people who wouldn't, you know, take that $20 million just to not fight it anymore. The thing is that he's not being told that he can't speak on social injustice issues. He just can't be pursuing the NFL to sue them for collusion anymore.
Yeah.
And that's the sort of stuff that he can't bring up anymore.
Exactly.
By the NFL doing this, I think, and it's even before this, by the NFL keeping Nathan Peterman on a roster, Paxton Lynch on a roster, Mark Sanchez getting a job. I think that we got our answer on what the heck's going on with the NFL.
I mean,
obviously there was something going on, because there's not one good reason that someone can give me why Colin Kaepernick is not on the NFL roster today.
Yeah, no, it makes no sense. And I don't think anyone for a minute believed it. And I think that's the thing that just made the NFL look so bad, was the fact that literally the only reason that any NFL owner could give as to why Colin Kaepernick wasn't on their roster per se was because he lacked the talent to be that. And it's like, no one in their right mind watched Colin Kaepernick for the time that he played and said, he doesn't deserve to be in NFL at all. Like, you can't, like, I can't sit there and watch Mark Sanchez start a game, you know, as you alluded to, and think to myself, yeah, so much better than Colin Kaepernick. Like, no. Like, it's just, there's no way that Colin Kaepernick lacks the physical and mental ability to play, to at least be on someone's roster. No one was out there saying he needs to be starting for you. But the fact that he can't be a backup or even a third string quarterback makes no sense.
Absolutely not. Doesn't make any sense at all.
I think that just kind of showed what was really going on. I think everyone knew that owners were just afraid that, you know, the potential backlash that they would receive from fans and, you know, some Americans, you know, would reflect poorly on them and would affect their, you know, basically their bottom line.
Right. And at the end of the day, that's what the NFL is about. They're about consuming the public and giving them what they want. And obviously, they are giving us what we want by putting the kibosh on this whole thing all together. Do you remember when Jalen Ramsey called Josh Allen trash?
How could I forget?
2018, for anybody who doesn't remember, before the NFL season started last year, GQ magazine interviewed Jalen Ramsey, asking him about quarterbacks that are in the league and entering into the league. At the time, Josh Allen was a rookie and just got drafted by the Buffalo Bills. And when asked about Josh Allen, he simply said, he is trash. Well, fast forwarding into today, there was a little poking fun with Jalen Ramsey as Josh Allen tweeted out a photo that he had signed of himself, obviously, and at the bottom asking, "Am I still trash?" ? Of course, Jalen Ramsey responds saying that, yes, you still are trash. But what do you think about this?
I mean, honestly,
ongoing battle between Jalen Ramsey and Josh Allen.
I mean,
who's right here?
Like, the thing is, like, it doesn't matter who's right in this thing. Like, it's just a fun thing, I think, for people to kind of latch on to. Like, no one really thinks that anyone is taking this like seriously at all.
Right?
I mean, to me, this feels kind of like one of those just like rap battles where it's just like, they're just like joking at each other. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing serious about it. Even if Jalen Ramsey truly does think he's trash, like, what's going to happen? Like, who can really do anything? And all Josh Allen can do is go out and kind of basically ball like he did, you know, to prove that he's not trash. Like, there's nothing really that's going on. It's just fun banter for NFL to like kind of have. You know, with all the seriousness that's going on around the NFL, like I think it's kind of nice to have this to kind of latch on to and be like, it's just a fun thing that's going on in NFL right
Exactly.
now.
And it's not like Josh Allen had a terrible season. I also
No.
believe when the Buffalo Bills played the Jacksonville Jaguars,
Oh, he tore him up.
did defeat the
Yeah.
Jacksonville Jaguars. And that was one of the big headlines going in, asking if he was still trash. But with Jalen Ramsey talking a lot this year, he didn't really back it up the way that I thought he would, especially how he called out all these quarterbacks, either calling them marginal or saying that they're Hall of Famers one day, or in this case, Josh Allen is trash. But I do like Josh Allen poking fun at Jalen Ramsey. I think that's pretty good. And I don't really see this dying down anytime soon, especially with them both with both of them being in the AFC. And
the thing is, like, are they even going to play each other next season?
Nah, probably not.
Like, I don't think they're going to play each other. So it doesn't even, like, it would be fun. Like, honestly, if I was the NFL, I would purposely make them play each other next year. Absolutely. Because you know people are going to want to watch that game like that. Like, if you put that on the schedule, the Jaguars and the Bills, like, you make that a Monday night game. You either make that a Sunday night game or a Monday night game. Hell, even make it a Thursday night game. I don't care, but put it somewhere in the prime time where people are forced to watch that game and that game only, because that's going to be a lot of fun if we get to see Jalen Ramsey before the game, a trash quarterback that I'm going to get. Like, I want to see Jalen Ramsey literally pointing at Josh Allen, being like, throw it to him. Throw it to this guy that I'm on right now.
Well, we know that Jalen, he's not going to throw to Jalen's side, because if he does have an interception, what's the best part? Like, if he has an interception and then runs past Josh Allen,
dude, like, okay,
up the peace sign while he's going for a pick six.
Like the greatest thing that I would want to see is if that did happen, Josh Allen throws a pick to Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey tries to run it back. If there's a one-on-one situation where Jalen Ramsey is sitting there and Josh Allen is trying to tackle him, like Josh Allen's not small. Like you said that, like he's not a small guy.
Not small.
So I would actually kind of like to see, would he get the better of Jalen Ramsey? Would he pop him? Or do you think Jalen Ramsey will let that happen?
Dude, man, but you've got to catch him first, you know.
Yeah,
and Jalen's about 6'1". Josh Allen's a pretty fast dude, but pick six, something like that. I'm taking Jalen going to the house all day untouched. I think Josh Allen's going to dive at his feet or something. I don't think he's going to meet him but if it does happen, I would love to see it though.
Yeah, no. So NFL, if you're listening, please make that happen. Please make that game happen.
Antonio Brown is back at it again. He has had several rants, whether they be on Twitter, on Instagram. We've all made it known here that he's going to be on another team next year. And with that being said, we're still trying to figure out where he's going to go. There's some potential landing spots that he could go. Obviously, both sides have not seen eye to eye. Antonio Brown feels like needs to be in a new situation. Feels like that Pittsburgh is toxic and he's not able to be his best person simply because he's in Pittsburgh. Me personally, I think that he's being a bit of a diva, but
yeah,
where are some potential landing spots for AB, and what do you see for him next year?
I think there's several teams that could be, potentially in the market for him. I mean, I think obviously everyone's talked about San Francisco and that being a potential landing spot for him. I don't know I think he might even kind of pointed out himself that he wouldn't mind going to San Francisco. I mean, it'd be a good team to go to. I mean, you got Jimmy Garoppolo, you got the coach there. It's really good. Hopefully you get McKinnon coming back, and then with the emergence of Goodwin outside of him getting hurt, I think it would be a nice little place for him to land. Maybe he'd like living in San Francisco. I don't know. But, I think another team, obviously, people have floated out there is Oakland. Who knows? That could potentially happen. Maybe not. I heard like someone mentioned Seattle.
Yeah.
That could be interesting. Him and Russell Wilson.
Is with Antonio Brown, that you know that the Steelers are going to be seeking a high draft pick. Now, I don't know if they're going to necessarily get a first or not, but for somebody like Antonio Brown, I don't expect anything less from the Steelers asking for a first round pick.
Yeah, no.
But who has that first round pick? Who has other pieces that can come with it to get Antonio Brown to work out a trade?
I mean, I think. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I believe that the Steelers are going to ask for a little bit, and they're probably going to trade with somebody that's in the NFC. To be honest, don't really see them trading with the AFC team unless if it's clearly out of their division. But I'm just trying to think of some teams here that could bring him on because he wants to be in a competitive area. He wants to be a competitive market. San Francisco's definitely one. Oakland is definitely another.
But they're not competitive right now.
Why not Dallas?
I've heard Dallas.
Terrence Williams, they just dropped him. Yeah. They're not re-signing. They're not re-signing another defensive lineman of ours. But I don't know. We don't have any first-round picks to give up at this moment in time.
Yeah, no, because especially since you guys just got Amari Cooper. But, I mean, I think it would be dope if he did end up there because, I mean, you'd have Amari Cooper. I mean, that would kind of be one of the most stacked offenses in the NFL, to be honest, with
Brown,
Dak, Elliott, Amari Cooper. Like, that would be so sick. Like, I would love watching the Cowboys next year if that happened.
Absolutely.
I mean, another team that, they might not be super competitive, but just because of their location, and it seems like he likes this place, Miami.
Yeah.
And they have a high enough draft pick to where if maybe they put, what are they, pick 13, something like that?
Would you give up your first-round draft pick for Antonio Brown right now, given your quarterback situation?
And that's the thing, because I was like, if they were able to draft a quarterback like Kyler Murray, because who knows, if they got Kyler Murray, would that be more enticing for Antonio Brown to go there? Be like, hey, I got this new quarterback that I think they've even worked out together before. So it's like,
right,
we've already kind of got a working relationship. I love being in Miami,
right.
Why not go there and play? And he'd have the chance to potentially bring down the Patriots,
Exactly. I mean, it could be a twofer situation where Indianapolis could be in the hunt, but I think they're more trying to land Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
That would be sick if they could land both.
I don't think they will.
I don't think that Pittsburgh is going to want to do business with Indianapolis and make them better.
I mean, I still think Le'Veon Bell's going to the Texans, but that's just my.
Le'Veon Bell could go to the Texans.
I mean, I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know exactly where AB could land. I mean, I think Dallas would be definitely a huge landing spot if they could somehow miraculously make that happen. If that happens, I'm sorry, Patrick, you'd have to give it up to Jerry Jones. You just would.
I love Jerry Jones.
If that happened, Cowboy fans can never say anything about Jerry Jones.
It's far-fetched. I would love him on my ball club, but I don't think that it's going to happen. One of the weirdest things about this is that there was an exit meeting with Antonio Brown and Art Rooney today. I'm just trying to figure out what did that exit meeting entail? Why was there an exit meeting? That's a little awkward considering that both sides have already pretty much said that they were letting go of each other. I just didn't know why they had an official exit meeting.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Art Rooney literally came out months ago and said, I don't envision Antonio Brown being in training camp with the Steelers next season. I wonder what was discussed. I mean, did they just, sit down, have a drink, have a good time, kind of talk about, hey, going to send you off. All right. Okay, cool.
I think it might have just been one of those. I think it might have just been one of those things where it's like, okay, listen, enough. What is it that we need to? What needs to happen? Is there really you're not coming back here? And Antonio Brown's like, nope, I can't. I'm not coming back to this place. And I'm like, all right, well, if that's the case, we'll move forward with the
He wants a
possible
place
trade.
where AB can be AB, so he
I'm
can
telling
do
you,
whatever he
Miami. I
wants.
would not be surprised if
Nobody
Miami
questions him, and he could just do what he pleases.
he can go out and
Probably not a good
party.
look for Dallas.
You say what?
I said it's probably not a good look for Dallas.
No, no, because they
considering our track record.
no. I mean, for real, like Miami seems like that best kind of place for him to be, where AB can do AB, do whatever the hell he wants to do, in a city that's free flowing like Miami is. Like, why not? Like, who cares? Like, I'm just living life right now. I'm being super crazy and out there, dressing weird. You know, got all these crazy haircuts, messing with all these chicks. That ain't my that ain't my baby mama. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
he's definitely got some issues going on with him right now. I mean, it's probably best that he does leave that situation. I don't necessarily think that they're toxic. I think that he's more so toxic, and he just wants to change the scenery and wants to be able to do AB type things. What teams do know about him is that they're going to get a hardworking individual that's going to, you know, he's going to put in the time, he's going to put in the effort, and you don't have to worry about his production. But what you do have to worry about is the other side of the ball. Is he going to show up? Is he going to be volatile? Is he going to quit on my team? And that's a discussion with any GM that he ends up having an interaction with or relationship with, is going to be discussed up front before he comes onto that ball club. And with him, you know, I know what we're getting at. You know, I know what you're getting out of AB. There's no question whatsoever. It is his skill. The thing is he going to be fully committed to the team in low moments? If there's a controversial moment, do I have to worry about Antonio Brown leaving my locker room? Do I have to worry about Antonio Brown leaving at halftime? You know, do I have to worry about Antonio Brown showing up for film, or just, I'm calling in sick today for work, I'm not coming in? You know, so these are the things that teams need to kind of do their homework and research on before they, you know, really bring him in. But I expect Antonio Brown to be traded to somebody within the next month or so. Don't think that that's going to be an issue. I'm pretty sure they're fielding a lot of phone calls from different teams. And by the time that the Hall of Fame game starts, Antonio Brown will be on a new team.
Yeah.
Big news in San Diego.
Woo!
Manny Machado is signed.
Finally.
$300 million man. Finally, one of two of the big names are signed, and he's going down to San Diego.
Yes.
Is this a good move? Is this a bad move? Me personally, I don't really think that it's going to make a difference for San Diego Padres. They've got jerseys that they could sell. Don't think that they're going to make it. It's not going to make a difference. Congratulations. You probably just, you know, earned 10 more ball games than you're going to win than you did last year. They're probably going to win about 50 ball games.
I don't know. I think they might. I mean, I don't think they'll go crazy this year, but I do think just for I think they've kind of expedited the process of them potentially being a good team, you know, for the next couple years. You know, I think with that signing, I think it definitely helps their chance. Like, of course, it helps any team's chances signing a player like Manny Machado. But I mean, I think this definitely helps them to potentially be in a position maybe next year or the year after that to be the NL West team to beat. Because I think with him, I think it was good. First of all, I think it was good for them to sign Eric Hosmer last year, even though at the time didn't really see where that was going. But in hindsight, like, I think having a piece like Eric Hosmer there makes it a little bit more attractive for Manny Machado to go there, because without Eric Hosmer, I think he's looking at that team like this team has zero chance of competing. But I think with Eric Hosmer there and Will Myers, it's kind of like, okay, I can fit there. They got some pieces. I mean, you know that you have Fernando Tatis Jr. coming up, who should, you know, after the first month or two, they'll probably bring him up. You got I forget the guy who's starting at shortstop, but once Fernando Tatis comes up, I think they'll move him to second. He's pretty good, and they got some young pitchers that are coming up as well, who got a little bit of experience at the end of the season last year. Who, if they progress, I think might put them in position. And then on top of that, if they might be able to bring in a couple new pieces the following year, I wouldn't be surprised if they'd be the team to beat in the NL West, next
To
year.
be honest with you, I think they've got a long way to go. I think the NL West is pretty stacked right now already.
I don't think it's as stacked as you think it is.
And
honestly,
I just don't really believe that Manny Machado is going to make a difference and have other free agents or anybody else want to come sign there. Me personally, I believe it was just a money grab. He took the best of the two different situations. He took both competitive offers that he had with the Chicago White Sox and with them. Sorry, man.
But
I think I would take the same money that I'm going to get in San Diego. Why? The weather's great. It's always 76 degrees and sunny in San Diego. I got my 10-year contract, $300 million, instead of being in the north side of, in the south side of Chicago, where the winters are cold. The beginning of the season, you're probably going to have some cold. You're probably going to have some cold moments, and by the end of the season, you're probably going to have some real cold moments. And it was just kind of to be honest with you, I don't really think that it's going to make a big difference as far as them being a different team. I just think that Manny Machado got his money as any other good young star should be. They should get paid. And at the end of the day, I mean, it's just a signing. I didn't expect him to go to the San Diego
Padres. Didn't see that coming.
I thought that he would go to another team that was, ready to win right now.
I thought he would too. The fact that, you're saying that it was a money grab, which it was, because I think the only difference between the White Sox offer and the Padres offer was that the Padres offer more guaranteed money, like up front, than what the White Sox offered. But at the same time, I'd also heard that the money that he would have accumulated through signing with the White Sox would have amounted to about 350 million.
Right.
So it's like, why are you, if money really is a thing, why are you choosing the Padres over the White Sox if the White Sox deal is eventually going to work out to be more than what the Padres offer you? And on top of that, the White Sox seems more poised to be that next, contender in the AL. You know what I mean? Like with all the players that they have. So like, why is that? Because I was watching MLB Network, and Ken Rosenthal, this is literally sources say White Sox offer Manny Machado was 8 years, 250 million, higher AAV than he will receive from the Padres. Total value of deal with incentives and vesting options could have been well north of 300 million. So it's like, why turn that down if you're potentially going to make well north of 300?
I think he got a taste of California last year, and he likes it.
I think so too. I think that was a big thing.
In Baltimore all of his life. It's freaking cold up there in Baltimore, man.
Especially when
wouldn't want to settle there. I'd rather settle in San Diego, man.
I would too. I think what you just said is probably the most thing that people aren't really taking into account, because up until he went to the Dodgers, I think he had made it pretty well known that he wanted to play on the East Coast. He wanted to stay on the East Coast and play there. And then all of a sudden he goes to the Dodgers, and like you said, I think he got a little bit of taste of what it was like out here this way. And he's like, you know what? It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
San Diego's a pretty nice place.
360 days of the year in San Diego, 77, no rain. I mean, why wouldn't you want to play in San Diego and have a 10-year contract while you're at it? I would.
I like San Diego. That park is so nice. Like I'd like playing in that park every night. Like it's dope. San Diego's a beautiful place to live. It's one of the best cities in America. And then the only thing is, I feel so bad for the White Sox. Like I really do. Like they were crushed. that they
that
didn't get.
GM was crushed. He threw the family reunion party for like Manny Machado and everything, and
Yeah, like they were
thought that he
courting
was
him
gonna come over,
hard.
and he
Yeah,
just
like all the players were like trying to get him. Like they
yeah.
really like. I saw this thing where it's like they were talking to the manager, and he said, "I'm wearing my shades so you can't see the shock in my eyes."
He was pretty pissed, man. He thought that he had it. He thought that he really did have it, but
I mean, I thought he did too.
He's got to settle back up and try to go get somebody else.
Yeah.
And to me personally, this kind of leads into the next thing I want to talk about is, what does this mean for Bryce Harper? Does he get less than 300 million? I don't think that he gets less than 300 million.
Hell
I
no.
think that the market is kind of set for him.
It's
Since
set
Machado
now.
went out there and grabbed that 300 million. He's not going to get that 400 that he's looking for. Some of the teams that are left, obviously the Philadelphia Phillies, the Giants, the Padres, Nationals, and the White Sox. I don't think the White Sox are going to go try to grab Harper. I don't think
they got too hurt.
Padres are out, so it's either going to be the Giants or Philadelphia.
I mean, I feel like it's got to be the Phillies. It has to be
the Phillies.
It has to be. Like, there's absolutely no reason for him to go to the Giants.
Right.
Like, that's a complete waste of his talent. Like, his numbers are going to suffer there. He's not going to win. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, even if he goes there, they're going to be one of the worst teams in the MLB next season. Like honestly, they might be the worst team in the whole like MLB next season. Like their team is garbage right now.
Are you calling it right now that they're going to be the worst team, or
no? Because I think the other
worst team.
I think either it's going to be between the Giants, the Marlins, or the Orioles. Those are going to be the three worst teams in the major leagues next year. This year.
Go ahead and throw in the Blue Jays too, because I can't stand the Blue Jays.
Like, why are you on Canada, bro?
Yeah, I know, dude. They're all the way up there. But are these contracts kind of here to stay? I know that we've had the 10-year contract talk, and are they? Is this kind of the new thing where GMs are looking to kind of shorten the contracts or not giving out these big 10-year contracts anymore? Who's going to be the first man to get that 400 million? I'm going to tell you one guy. Who is worthy of 400 million, and he will get it. And he's right out here in Orange County, California. His name's Mike Trout. There is no doubt in my mind that if he asks for 400 million, that there's not a team out there that's going to give it to him. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. You think Mike Trout's going to be sitting out there waiting? He's going to be that first $400 million man.
You think so? You think so?
Right now.
How old is he now? Was he 27?
27.
10 years?
Dude, he's the man. Like
he is the man.
Baseball, dude.
He really is. He really is. I mean, although I think Mookie Betts has given him a run for his money this past couple of years. But 400 mil is so much money. And to be honest,
400 million for you, like exactly.
I mean, the thing is, the only reason why I have a hard time saying that is because I don't even think Mike Trout would ask for that much. Just Mike Trout as a person, I don't even think he would ask for that much. You know what I mean? Like if Manny Machado, okay, I can see it. Bryce Harper asks for that much money, I could see it. Mike Trout, he doesn't seem like that type of dude who's like, give me all the money. Like, nah. Like he doesn't seem like that type of player.
That type of dude.
But I mean, I don't know what his manager's like.
Exactly. You don't know what his representation's like. And the thing is he is in a market right now, and he's put himself out there. Let's just say he has another 30 plus home run season, over 120 RBI type season again. Okay. There's no doubt in my mind that he'll be able to ask for that in the market. Now, whether he gets it or not is one thing, but a serious GM would honestly look at that 400 million and just be like, you know what? It's Mike Trout, dog. Yeah.
Yeah. And here's
this guy.
And here's the thing. I think I think that with what just happened with the Manny Machado signing, I think that that's just gonna enable the cycle to continue and for it to grow. Because I think if teams would have been able to hold out and be like, listen, we are not paying you that much for that long of a contract. Like, you are certifiably insane if you think that that kind of deal is going to happen.
Right.
Like, we will pay you a lot of money, but not for that long. I'll pay you a little bit more money, like guaranteed, like, year to year basis, you know, for a shorter time span. So I'm not like handcuffed to this crazy 10-year deal that literally has never worked out for
Exactly.
anyone. Like, it's
Exactly.
never worked out for anyone. So why do I think it's going to be any different? You know what I mean? And it's one of those things where I feel like I'm split on it because one, I don't feel like those types of deals should exist. Like, those are just outlandish deals.
Right.
I think the best thing for players and teams is to take a shorter deal, take a shorter length of a deal, 5 maybe 6 years at most. You know, have a large sum of money that these players are getting paid each year, but at the same time, no one's beholden to this long ass contract. You know, but on the same token, I think that teams do it to themselves
Exactly.
because teams try and play this game of, we're going to try and get this player on the cheap for as long as possible. We're not going to pay him what he's really worth because we still have him in arbitration with this rookie contract for so long, for 6 years. You know what I mean? He's blossoming right now and is well worth 250 mil, something like that. But we're not going to pay him that because, hey, we still technically have him under this contract. So don't care what he's asking or what he thinks he's worth. He's still under this contract, so we're not going to pay him. So you kind of delay, your time frame from what you could be paying these players what they're worth when they're actually worth that, and then getting rid of them by the time they're coming out of their prime. That way you can ante up on the next young person that's coming up. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, but
Exactly.
teams keep doing it to themselves because they're so money hungry on trying to keep all these good players under these rookie contracts, basically, or these cheap contracts, and they don't want to pay anybody. And then all of a sudden, when these players blow up, they're like, "Listen, you've been paying me dirt cheap. You've been getting well worth your money for 2, 3 years now. I want my money now." And then they're like, "Oh, that's a lot of money you're asking for." It's like, well, you've been paying me dirt cheap. Like, what did you
Exactly.
think was going to
You should
happen?
get paid for your performance, and that's how it always should be, which leads us into what type of contracts and structure system could work for both players and teams. I know that, you alluded to, teams not holding young players to rookie contracts, but with Whit Merrifield's comments on the Blue Jays handling of Vlad Guerrero Jr., in his
Yeah.
rookie contract, what is it, what direction do you see the MLB going to try to fix this? Don't you think that they should probably model themselves kind of after the NFL or the NBA, and kind of how they have the NBA? I feel like has it perfect because they pay people for their performance, and that's what
Yeah.
they pay, not for their projections, for their performance.
Yeah. I mean, and I think if MLB is going to try and survive and stay relevant within the scheme of, the big sports in America, I think they have to change this model because it's not working. It's if they're going to be this adamant about keeping money and be this money hungry, I think it's only going to do them and the game a disservice because, you know, taking the example with the Whit Merrifield, speaking on how the Toronto Blue Jays are handling Vlad Guerrero Jr., you have probably one of the most touted prospects for years
Right.
coming through your ranks, coming up to your, your major league team. But you're not gonna bring him up because you want to keep him under another year of
Mhm.
arbitration. You don't want to give him a full year of MLB play. So you're going to hold him back for a month. You're going to literally make fans wait to see this person that they've been waiting to see, that all of baseball is waiting to see play at the major league level. You're going to hold him back for a month because you want to have him you want to hold him to this contract for another year. Like, what kind of sense? Like, you're doing everybody a disservice. Yeah, you might lose out on a little bit of money, but at the same time, like, you're doing the game so much good because like, we're all finally going to see what this guy has. Like, we've been waiting for Vlad Guerrero Jr. to come up and play
Exactly.
because he's so good. And
Yeah.
if he's everything that everyone thinks that he can be, we literally might have a better player than Mike Trout on our hands, like hitting wise, honestly,
Right.
because
Right.
he's amazing, and for him to be as young as he is, doing like and having the ability that he has, why are we not seeing him play right now at opening day? Why are we not seeing him play?
Exactly.
You
And
know,
that's
so
my
I think
biggest thing is like, it's I don't I get why there's a farm system and everything, but you kind of know the talent of players right when you see them. And I know that they have to develop and all of that. But is there any reason why someone like a Bryce Harper did, the whole minor league thing for 2 years? I mean, don't you think that you should just push them up as quick as possible?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the other thing that MLB just struggles with, and I think that's why they lose out on so much talent because you have, the other two big sports, with football and basketball. Although I think, MLB's main competitor is the NFL because it seems to be that most people who play football, they play baseball as well, and kind
Right.
of vice versa. So that seems to be, its main competitor is the NFL. And with the NFL, you don't have to wait. Like, you have that instant gratification to a sense where it's like, I know that if I get drafted, and especially if I get drafted at a high pick, like, they're gonna give me every single possible chance to succeed. Like, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
and their
potentially play
minor
right
league is
away.
college. Like, their minor league
Yeah.
is college.
Yeah, and it's like no one wants to slug away. Like, why would you want to slug away in the minors for 2, 3 years? Going from this rinkety dink town to rinkety dink town on a bus, staying in terrible hotels, eating out at Applebee's. You know what I mean? Like, why would you want to live that lifestyle when you could be flying first class, private jets, all this stuff like this to all these nice cities and all this stuff, playing a sport that you love? You know what I mean? Like, why would you choose that over, why would you choose baseball over that? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it just doesn't make any sense. And I think that's the that's the drawback that MLB has, is that they need to find a way to get their their superstars up to the major leagues as fast as possible.
Exactly.
Which, it's a struggle because there is a considerable learning curve that happens with baseball. I mean, that's just what it is. That's just part of the game. Baseball's hard. Like,
Right.
there's no way around it. Like, pitchers, like, they can be very good, but they might have things that they really need to tweak before they come up to the MLB level and get blasted. Because you don't want to bring a kid up too soon. He hasn't really fine tuned his mechanics
Right.
and, learned the things that he needs to learn to succeed at that level. And then all of a sudden he's getting teed off on because he's just not used to the skill of hitters,
Exactly.
that exist in the MLB. So there is just an inherent learning curve that all players need to go through. I think to say that once you get drafted, you're automatically on the MLB team, it's a little bit too far. I don't think that could ever happen, but I think they could shorten the time that does happen.
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
everyone knows it is Black History Month. It's almost over. It's coming to an end.
Mhm.
We do want to bring up one of our figures that we want to speak about this week, and that is Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods, y'all.
Tiger Woods, y'all.
I know, right? And with the first selection of the racial draft, I select Tiger Woods. I've always wanted to say this for Chisel.
For shizzle. That's hilarious.
Goodbye, fried rice. Hello, fried chicken.
Fried chicken.
Jeez, that had to be one of the
Oh, Dave
Chappelle
Chappelle.
episodes of all time.
For
The
all you listeners, for all you listeners out there, you will be hearing Dave Chappelle references quite often throughout this
quite
podcast.
often, absolutely. Like, that had to be the best skit ever for Dave Chappelle. Like,
I don't know about ever, but it's definitely one of his most
The
iconic ones for
raindrop was
sure.
pretty good. That one and
Yeah,
Black Bush are like two of my
Black
favorites.
Bush. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, Black Bush is good, man. But yeah, we want to talk about Tiger Woods because obviously, he's brought a lot to the game, not only just, his success and, what he's done from just a sport, from that sport level, but just from a marketing level and a business side of it, how he's elevated, the game, not just in golf, but in all sports, and how people kind of emulate him in a lot of different ways, whether it be in golf or in other sports, with the iconic red shirt or with the fist pumps or that huge smile that he has that's just,
Mhm.
unforgettable. Tiger Woods to me is one of my favorite athletes of ever. Not just because he's having the success that he's had on the golf course, but just him being a person of color who has come into a sport that obviously is predominantly white and broke that kind of barrier. Not to say that there wasn't black golfers before, because there was before Tiger
Mhm.
Woods, but there wasn't any that took it to the level that Tiger Woods did.
Yeah.
And how he did it opened up a whole nother demographic for people to come in and watch this sport.
No, I mean you're completely right. I think, and the funny thing is, like, not funny, but the fact that we call him like this black golfer and everything, but we all know that he's half Asian as well. And so, like, not only did he open golfing up to the black community, but he also made golfing very appealing to Asians out there, because it was like, oh, here's
Right.
this half Asian guy who's cool, he's half black as well, and he's killing it on the golf course, and he's fun to watch, like you said, with the fist pump, but like he like everything about him just stood out. So, like, I mean, he looked physically in shape compared to what we're used to seeing from golfers. Like, he looked like he could play any other sport as well.
Exactly.
So to have this good looking, in shape, you know, black guy on the golf course winning, and not just by a little bit, absolutely destroying
By a
his
lot.
competition. You know what I mean? Like, I think that really did wonders, like you said, just open up the floodgates to, you know, to the black community and Asian community as well. But like, since we're talking Black History Month, like, to the black community, which, like you said, was largely, that was a world that I think we all felt largely cut off from, that was kind of like
Exactly.
inaccessible. Like, that was a world that we weren't really allowed to participate in. That was like, the gentleman's club, if you know what I
Exactly.
mean.
Exactly.
So it's like, to have those doors, you know, literally kicked down by him. I think that was huge, for people, for young black kids to see. Oh, I don't have to just play football or basketball. Like, there's this other game out here that's looks cool and fun to play too. Like, let me get
Exactly.
in. Let me try that out. You know what I mean? I think
Yeah,
that's
he did. He
huge.
made it cool. One of the best things that I have enjoyed about his career is just his journey back into golf. Knowing that he had the controversy with his wife, and
Hmm.
he had the back surgeries, and he had the knee. He had the knee that was really messed up, and there was a moment where a lot of things were not working for him, and he
Yeah.
wasn't able to just get right. And we were all trying to wonder if we're going to see the Tiger Woods of old. And
Hmm.
the fact that we're never going to see the Tiger Woods of old, we're going to see the new Tiger Woods who's competitive now. And he's competitive enough for you to watch on Sundays. He makes it interesting again. He did win the Players last year, which definitely was a big boost for him. And that was great to watch because you just saw it all season with him, being in those tournaments. Like, there's a chance that he's going to win this week. There's a chance that he's going to win this week. And then finally, the last tournament of the year, he actually pops one and wins the tournament. The best part
Yeah.
about Tiger Woods is that when there's no Tiger Woods, who's watching? No one.
Yeah. Like,
So
and that's
he makes it cool to watch.
Yeah, no,
he gets eyeballs.
yeah, no, I mean, and it's crazy because what you said is exactly true. I think they've tried to find their replacement for for Tiger, um, to represent golf and to make golf cool and to be the sport that everyone wants to watch again. But for whatever reason, it just hasn't happened. I don't know what it was about Tiger that just made him such an iconic figure on that golf course. He really did bring eyeballs, and it was just everything about him. Like I said, like I think there are just some people that for whatever reason kind of transcend their sport a little bit and just find their way in the fray of society. I mean, because I think one of the big things that, you know, get overlooked is, especially when you're trying to reach the youth, is, especially with us coming up, growing up, is video games. And the fact that all of a sudden kids were playing a
Tiger Woods
golfing
golf.
video game, you know what I mean? And it was fun. Like everybody loved playing that video game. Like even my dad, who, you know, hadn't picked up some sticks, and forever, I'd be in my room doing my homework, and all of a sudden my dad comes trotting in. He just plops down on my bed, picks up the controller, and he's playing video games. I'm sitting there doing my homework. Like, what kind of sight is that? And he's all of a sudden, I'm just here to, him playing the video game. And it's like, it was fun for everybody, like, not just kids, especially for kids, but, all of a sudden you find adults starting to play this game as well because, oh, it's Tiger Woods. I like watching him. Let me play his video game, and I think it just made him so cool. And then, you got all the different sponsors. You got the Gatorade, I called it Tigerade because it was, him. And it was
He had
just like,
Gatorade, he had Nike, he had Gillette, he had
yeah, yeah,
he had
Buick, yeah,
Bridgestone Golf with the golf balls. He had everything.
yeah. So it's just like, I think you just saw him everywhere. And for whatever reason, he just had that cool factor. You know what I mean? And I don't think golf has found that since.
No, and I don't think that it's going to be for a real long time that they're not going to. I mean, he's a once in a generation,
Mhm.
once in a generation type player, not by skill, just how popular he was.
Yeah,
Not only was he the most popular athlete in golf, he was literally the most popular athlete in the
on the
world.
planet. Yeah, like there's not a single person who hasn't heard of Tiger Woods. Like you don't have to pay attention to sports. You could have not turned on the TV, turned on any sports channel for a solid 5 years. I guarantee you, at some point in time, you heard somebody say the name Tiger Woods.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like I mean, he's just like I said, he just transcended all sports, and he just elevated the game of golf. And I think he just really did, a service for the Black community and showing what we're capable of. Just we're not just we can't just run fast. Like we can do other things as
Yeah,
well. We can play golf.
absolutely. Absolutely. Um, well, guys, it is getting late. We got other topics to talk about next week. We're definitely going to keep you up with the NFL draft. We've got the combine that's coming up. MLB season is starting soon.
Spring
Maybe even
training underway.
a bit of hockey. Who knows? And for you
Ah,
bettors out there, March Madness coming real soon right at you. It is
wow.
dog season. That is my favorite line.
We
It is
don't have
dog season.
Zion anymore.
Yeah, I have a buddy of mine who lost some money tonight with Nevada. So just want to let you guys know that college basketball does not always work out in your favor, but if it does, it sure is fun to watch. And it sure is fun to spin and win. I am Patrick Melton, one half member of the Sports Drink Club. My co-host Keenan Duke. Until next time, drinks up and holla.
Drinks up. All right, man. I'll catch you later.